I experimented with doing a very simple segmented blank. I had this black and white ebony that I really liked the detail on the grain, and thought that maybe inside putting two of them together like that, that it would show up on a pen really well. I like that grain pattern right there. So I glued it up and took it over to the saw, cut the ends off, got it kind of squared up. I have enough to where I could use for several blanks, and I even have a shop pencil that I was going to put that on. But took a couple ends off, trimmed it up, squared it up, and then took the sides and got those square. I need to build a sled to take care of the smaller items like this. It gets a little awkward holding the piece down. You'll see it move and then go through. So then on to the pen itself. It's a Wall Street 2 click pen, so it's fairly simple. The nib and a sleeve to attach the blank to the nib, and the top just pushes in. So let's get started, mark it, and let's get it drilled out. Again, using brad bit, slowly going down, clean it out. And there we are. Okay, let's get it glued up. It was interesting that sleeve came already roughed up. But make sure the sleeve fits. Get everything out of the way so you don't drop any glue on it. I had one that I almost dropped a glob of glue on top of the pen, which wouldn't have been very well. Again, I use a scale, gram scale. I'll usually put 8 to 9 grams of each one in, get it exact. Take the infamous popsicle stick, stir it up, put it on the tube, get it into the tube. Take a little bit of denatured alcohol, make sure nothing's in the tube, and then let it sit. You'll see the epoxy will turn yellow and then a little darker yellow. And if you leave it there a long time, it'll really turn an orangish color. And you can feel the cup, it'll heat up. Once it's really cooking, it's really hard to hold your hand on it. Wait till it cools down, wait till it turns a little darker yellow. Then you're assured that the tube in the blank is set and you're ready to go with it. Otherwise, just keep it there a little longer. Then we take it over to the sander, get ready to square it up and get down to the brass tube. I rotate the blank quite often to keep it as square as I can get it. Look at it periodically, make sure you know where that tube end is. You just need to show it a little bit of shiny brass is all you need. And then we're done. So let's get it on the lathe. Get the rest there. I'm turning it too slow. Yep, you see it grab. Then I'll figure it out real quick. Then I get it cranked up. I think I have a tendency to leave it at a lower RPM because I was buffing and polishing the last one, and of course just leave it there. Then when I get to turning these, I don't remember to get it turned up. You notice I'm going downhill on the lathe. I'm getting out of that habit of starting on the outside of the blank and then going in. I think you can have some pretty good chip outs if you do that. I always try to work downhill when I'm going. So it's an easy way to start in the middle and then go to the outside. I like the middle to be a little larger anyway. This one turned out to be relatively the same size all the way through. I'm using a radius on the carbide tip. It's a semi-round, I guess is what they call it. It has just a little bit of curve on the end. But I'm working my way down to it. The wood is very, very easily worked with. I like the wood. And you'll see me, I'll get toward the end, I'll start going down toward the tube, then taking the middle, going down, then going downhill down toward it. Again, very nice wood to turn. Made it easy to smooth it out with the tool. And you'll see here where when it stops, it got solid. So half of it was solid, the other half was what I was hoping for with the grain. So that was a little disappointing, but it actually turned out to be a nice pen. So I started out with 230 grit, and then again going with the grain to make sure that the sanding marks are out. Then I'll take just a little bit of denatured alcohol, not much, just get it slightly moist, just to make sure all the little shavings and grit and everything are out of it before I start sanding again. Then I sanded with 300 grit, again going with the grain. Then I finished up, again, a little bit of denatured alcohol, and then I finished up with 400 grain. Able to get it really smooth, and then again cross with the grain on the 400 grit. And get that denatured alcohol, I put it on a little heavier there, and then you can see the difference between the two. Then let it spin to dry out before I start putting sanding sealer on. So then I start putting sanding sealer on, and put several coats of it on. Then started polishing. Use a friction polish on it. So you'll see me pinch it to kind of warm it up a little bit. it goes on really well. And then again, pinch it to kind of warm it up and get the polish set in there. I think we do it one more time on the polish side, maybe two. Let's see, is it one more? Yep, one more. So this will be the last one. Again, pinching it to get it warmed up. Finish really came out nice. It's a really, really nice finish. I was very pleased with that. All right, then let's go put it together. Again, fairly simplistic putting it together. Had the nib with the bushing attached to the blank. If I got it on right, there you go. Then the other end just presses on to the blank in the tube. I'm kind of looking to see where I want to place it. Not real sure. But let's get the sleeve in the tube right now. You'd think I'd learned by now to put the handle back. Maybe one of these days I will. That's squared up. Make sure it's square. Pressed right in, no problem. Then for the other end, I had a block that I put a 1/4 inch hole in, and for the end to protect the click portion of it. Otherwise, you could very easily jam it and ruin the click portion of that pin. So you see I'm trying to decide where to place the clip. Make sure that it's square. Be the last thing you press in. And then just make sure it goes in smooth and square. Then you'll see me the click portion will drop in and out easy. So that was good. No problems there. Then just put it together. I think the end, I had to move the end just a little bit. Here we go. It came out pretty good. I was a little disappointed that the grain was not there in that one side where I glued up. The other side had very nice grain, very good contrast. But I think the contrast of the half the blank being solid wood almost, they had that little bit at the bottom, and then the other with the grain, it was a good contrasting blank. So all in all, I think it turned out good. I was pleased with it. Went together very smoothly. Again, it's a Wall Street 2 click pin. And a little closer look. I was hoping that the grain I would get would be all over again, but it turned out well. If anybody has a comment where I should have put the clip, feel free to let me know in the comments section. Feel free to comment or ask me any questions you would like. Please subscribe. I'm doing more and more of these videos. I have 3 others that I'm working on right now, and I'll be back out into the shop today working on a couple things too. But appreciate you showing up. Appreciate you looking. Again, please subscribe. It helps the channel out. And I'll be putting some more up soon. So keep in touch.